right, it's question and answer time. One of the main questions that I get, and I've gotten this for pretty much most of my life. The key question that I've gotten most of my life is, do you know that you have a southern accent? And I'll tell you right now, I did not know that I had a southern accent until I joined the military. I did not know it. And the reason why I did not know I had a southern accent until I joined the military was because everybody in Alabama speak like I do. So how was people to tell me that I got a southern accent in Alabama when we all got a southern accent in Alabama? So when I joined the military and got away from Alabama and got away from people who I guess ain't never seen a yellow man with a southern accent before, I understand now why that's an odd thing to see. And so, I mean, from day one of basic training, I got asked that question a lot, and I still get asked that question every single day. And it's like, I guess maybe I don't pay attention to it, that I'm supposed to have a southern accent and acknowledge that I got one. But guess what, people? I guess I know I got a southern accent. So yes, answer to the question is yes, I know I got one. And but until then, no, I didn't know I had one, because we all talk like this in Alabama. All right, I'll tell you right now that when I was in basic training, the one person that I thought had a southern accent, it wasn't me. That was this one kid named Warfield, and I can't remember his first name. This guy was from Tennessee, and he was straight up Gone with the Wind southern accent. And I mean, and if you know what I mean, if you ever seen Gone with the Wind movie, this dude was Gone with the Wind southern accent. He was Tennessee Appalachian southern accent. And I thought he had a southern accent. It was worse than mine. And yeah, if anybody had a southern accent, that feller had a southern accent, because he was pretty bad. And but yeah, other than that, I would say that this confuses a lot of people. Back in the day it did. I would say probably nowadays it don't. I think it's more prevalent now for people of Asian descent now to be more, I guess, with different voices. I mean I kind of understand it now, because before I didn't, but now that I start seeing more of where southern people are now, well, not southern people, we're more Asian people. I mean, I get it. The first time I saw an Asian person talking in a British accent, it totally blew my mind. I was like, what in the world? First time I heard an Asian fella talking with an Australian accent, or talking something totally different. Hey, I get it now. I mean, it totally blew my mind. I understand it. So yeah, I understand where you people are coming from. I get it now. So yeah, I get it. It totally blows your mind. And I see where you're coming from. I get that this totally blows your mind. It does. And to see me and to hear what comes out of my mouth, I get it. It's an oddity. And for the longest time, it was weird. It was strange. I talked to people on the telephone, when I was active duty. I talked to people on the telephone, and I'd be talking to different people and be like, yeah, I'll meet you such and such for different stuff. And I'd show up, and yeah, I understand. They're looking around. They're looking for a white fella. I get it, because they talk to me on the telephone, and they're looking for a white fella. I understand it. And I show up, and they're not expecting that. Okay, pretty funny. I get it. And they think they're on candy camera, and it's pretty funny stuff. I get it. I understand it. And so, yeah, it's been pretty funny. I've used it to my advantage a couple of times. It was pretty funny situations. I had one kid when I was stationed in Italy. He was in Korea, and I was stationed in Korea before I went to Italy. So I still knew some people in Korea, and I had this one airman call me up because I was a sponsor, and he was telling me, about the Korean people, and he was complaining about Korea and the Korean people. And of course, the guy didn't know that I was Korean because, again, I don't sound Korean. All right, understand it. And I was letting it go on for a spell. I was talking to him on the phone, and I was letting him complain about it. And yeah, I was letting him do his thing. He was complaining about Korea and the Korean people, and I understand how some people don't like kimchi. They don't like the smell of kimchi, and they don't like the smell of how Korean people do things, there. Sometimes I don't like the smell of how some of that stuff was. I'm Korean, but I wasn't raised in it. I don't like some of the smells. It bothers me. And I understand where he was coming from. I do. But I thought it was funny. And I thought I was going to play a little joke on him. And so when the kids showed up, I had one of my airmen go pick him up and come bring him to my office, because I was going to play a little ha-ha funny, because he didn't know that I was Korean. And he was spending the whole time complaining about Korean people. And so they bring him in, and I'm sitting in my chair, and he comes into my office, and I swing around in my chair, and he saw that the white person that he thought he was talking to was not a white guy. It was funny. It made for a pretty funny first encounter, and we joke about that, and we laugh about that to the day. But yeah, I mean, I've used it to my advantage. I understand. I don't sound like the way I look, and vice versa. And it's been the funny thing for my whole life. And people, when they first meet me, I get the look. I know what the look looks like, because it's a look of shock and terror until they process and let it sink in that, yeah, I'm not a ventriloquist. I'm not that fancy, and because if I did, I'd probably be doing that as a job and making more money doing that. But yeah, I understand the shock value of what you hear and what you see, and I get it, because I get the same shock value when I see, people of my skin color talking in a different, in a different tone and dialect than what I would have expected, understand. So I get it, and I understand it too. So I get where y'all are coming from, and I get it. I absolutely do. And but yeah, I didn't know that I had a southern accent until I joined the military and got away from Alabama, and had other people telling me that, yeah, I'm different, and yeah, I talk funny, and yeah, this and that. It was the weirdest thing too, because most people, I'd tell them I'm from Alabama, and they'll be like, no, you're not. And I'd have to show them a driver's license to prove that, yeah, I'm from Alabama, because they just wouldn't believe me. So that was the kind of society that things were, back 20 years ago, 20-something years ago. It's still the way it is now sometimes. They kept telling me that I remind them of some comedian named Henry somebody. I don't know. There was a comedian out there. I guess that was the same thing. I think he was from Tennessee or something. And they're like, oh, you're like that comedian fellow who's the same thing. I think he was Korean and had a southern accent. Didn't really know who they were talking about, because I never seen or heard of anybody else like me. So if you're out there, Henry, whoever you are, that's a comedian, that's Korean and talks like I do, drop a comment or hit me up or something. I'd like to meet you and find out how your life was, because again, if you was raised in a redneck environment like I was, maybe we got some stories that that are the same as, I don't know. It'd be nice to find somebody who shared the same upbringing as I did. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, Q&A for today. Yes, I got a southern accent. Has it dissipated throughout the time? I don't know. I think it's been the same ever since. I don't think I've lost it or gained anything. I don't think it's changed much. The people that I know still from Alabama tell me it's the same. I don't know. I mean, I'm in the Midwest now, so people down here, they all think I'm strange, so it don't matter to me. I mean, it don't matter where I go, I'm strange regardless. But I mean, other than that, I'm still an oddity wherever I go. But yeah, I got a southern accent. Yeah, I'm a Korean Alabama redneck. Check it out. So that's me. But yeah, that's today's Q&A. Thanks for paying attention and joining. Any more questions you got, drop it in the comment section. I'll get to them and I'll answer them. All right, check you out on next Wednesday's Q&A. And other than that, hope to see you and talk to you next time. See you later.